Give me a sec. Are we good? I was tapped out. Crap. One. Oh, you're typing in here. Oh, we're go. Oh, hi guys. Hello. Okay, I did not realize you were live. Maybe I should have had that group chat open. Anyways, welcome to the Pummu Stock Car Championship. We are here in Nashville for the Season 1 Clash. Probably the first race, the first official race of this league ever, I think. Definitely an interesting starting order. Just gonna do a rundown of the starting order, real quick if you wanna move your camera over there. I don't really know where your camera is, but Cyber's gonna be starting up at the front, followed by Joe in second place. Covers, the guy who I think made the cars, is in P3, so that tells you about him and his driving. Retro's in P4, followed by Roxit City in P5. I think I said that name right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Tava is in 6th place. Pumpkin in P7, joined by Daniel in 8th place. 9th place we have FBI. In 10th we have Slick. I think in 11th we were supposed to have Mutant, however he is not here. There are a couple of no-shows actually, so Mutant might just be... Oh no, there is. Mutant is here. So I'm not sure who is a no-show, but Trainwreck is here. Me and Tim is supposed to start 11th, and TD got a post-race penalty after last chance qualifying, which happened earlier today, and that'll put him at the back of the field. And we are getting ready to go green here. Final preparations are being made. I'm sorry if I am a little unprepared, or sound a little unprepared, because I sort of was asked to commentate this literally 10 minutes ago. So here we are in the pit lane, Nashville. Definitely a lovely track, the Nashville Fairgrounds. I forget what the prize pool for today was, but I do believe someone said that it was a large amount of Robux, so I think aggressions are going to be quite high in this race. 75 lap race control, making sure all the drivers are ready to go green, as I think we need to not be standing in the pit lane, as Covers is very, very asleep at the wheel, actually. Oh, and he gets murdered by Slippy. Of course he does. We will not go green this time by, as I should probably get ready to start going on board with the drivers. But definitely been an interesting few weeks, almost a month really, of just preparing for this league. And it's been a lot of hard work. I sort of got enlisted as an official, so I've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I can tell you that there is a lot of fighting. And the drivers doubling up, getting ready to go green here. I guess Cyber was one of the people that were no-show, because Joe was starting at the front of the pack, so we'll get ready as they approach the restart zone. Get ready to go green for the first time here in the Pummu Stock Car Championship. A good start, 3 wide, almost 4, they are 4 wide for the lead. Daniel doesn't get the run on the outside though, but they're still going to be 4 wide towards the back. Now only 3 wide. Pumpkin and Joe side by side for the lead as they go around turns 3 and 4, a very short lap, as we are already on lap 2 here. I think contact between Joe and Slippy, but they get away with it. And Pumpkin will have the lead here in Nashville. 4 wide towards the back, it reduces to 3 wide. Big contact into the wall. FBI is into the inside wall. That's going to hold up Trainwreck as well. But they're going to be able to keep it going. And Joe just falling down the order as the race starts to, I guess, I can't really say calm down, because they're 3 wide for second place. Oh, and contact between Slippy and Joe, that's going to put them both in the outside wall. Meaton will take over second place, and Joe and Slippy will fight for third place here. as they go on to lap 4. And oh, Slippy's around! On the front stretch. Daniel around as well. Towards the back of the field, he's almost a lap down. Not far from it. No caution. According to the rules, 2 or more cars have to be involved in the accident for caution to be called, so we remain green. And that is disaster for Daniel and Slippy. We will turn our attention towards this battle towards the back of the pack here. We'll go on board with Trainwreck, who's currently 4-1. He's gonna be spun around in front of the pack. Still only him around, so still no caution will be called unless he gets collected. Slippy, I think, has spun on his own in turn 1. So Slippy will go a lap down, and we went on board with Trainwreck almost immediately before his public execution occurred. Lovely. We'll go on board with Mutin. The drivers are allowed to fight to get back on the lead lap, so Slippy does not have to yield whatsoever until he is 2 or more laps down. Pumpkin's still in the lead, and this time by a little bit of a comfortable margin as well. About 1.5 seconds, a little under that. Slippy, I don't think, has the pace to keep up with Mutin ahead of him, so I don't think his hopes of being on the lead lap will amount to anything. Well, actually, he's cut back a little bit, and we'll go on board with FBI. A little bit of a troublemaker so far. He has a warning from race control. He has a warning from race control so far. He's battling Retro towards the back of the pack as right at this moment. I mean, blink and you'll miss it. We are already on lap 10 of 75 here in Nashville. And so far, I think FBI and Retro's little battle here is going to be the closest battle yet, because there goes FBI and Retro into the wall, but FBI was able to maintain his momentum and was able to get a run into turn 3 and just simply overtake him there. I think Slippy is actually helping Jean Musa catch back up to Mutin, so that lap traffic definitely playing a part of this battle for the podium positions. Oh, big bump from Retro into the back of FBI. FBI able to keep it going though, didn't lose control, kept it under control, and this battle continues on. But Retro's definitely sending it in. Now he has the inside line. Does he have the run though? Oh, FBI into the outside wall! Oh! That's gonna be 2 cars around. I think this is gonna be caution. It's Retro and FBI. And we are under caution on the back. FBI and Retro battling. Retro finally got on FBI's inside and just wasn't able to keep it under control, and they both went around. And there's a first time for everything, and this is the first caution in an official race. Pace speed is being told to be 65, and Pumpkin will be our leader. Slippy has been told that he can pass the leaders and unlap himself, so that will probably be nice for Mutin. Oh, and pits are open, and I think just about everyone is about a pit. Pumpkin made Mutin into the outside wall, and it's gonna collect FBI and Trainwreck as well towards the back. So Mutin not having a very good pit stop already. Pumpkin chose very late to go into the pit lane. However, I don't believe there is technically any sort of regulation, since it's not clearly marked. And Pumpkin will retain the lead out of the pit lane, but Joe will be into P2. TD will be in P3, and I believe race control might have pressed the wrong button there. We will not be green this time by. Slippy stopped in the pit lane for a moment, so maybe some drama surrounding him and his pit stop for a moment. But for now, we'll remain under caution, and I guess just as an updated order, we'll be going green this time by according to the race control. Pumpkin will lead, Joe will have P2, TD, who started at the very back of the pack with a penalty in the last trans qualifier, now in P3, Retro in P4, Slick and Mutant behind him, Daniel and Trainwreck. We'll have the fourth row, and the final row will have FBI and, of course, Slippy. And we get ready to go green once again here in Nashville. And here we go, and I think FBI into the inside wall. He's already around. I think Slippy and FBI had some contact. TD's down the inside of Pumpkin. Bell's out of it, though. Didn't want to force his way into the lead. He's going to go far down the order because of that lift. And I think Retro might have just been able to move Pumpkin out of the way, get on his inside. Joe makes contact with Pumpkin, hits the wall, but they're able to keep it going. But now Joe will have the lead, and Miaton will be back into P2. Oh, and Retro contact with Pumpkin, that's going to put him far down the order, but they will be able to keep it going. Joe comfortably in the lead for the moment, but Miaton and Pumpkin have shown that they have better pace than him and train right behind them. I mean, former champion and contact between the two. Maybe I should not hype him up. Never mind. I'm gonna avoid that idea as they go 3 wide after Trainwreck makes contact in the wall and Pumpkin gets a warning for it. And now I think Trainwreck has collected TD. The two of them big contact, that's gonna slow them down even more. But we will keep our attention here on this battle between Pumpkin and Miaton. For second place, Joe Musa starting to run away with the lead here. Started at the front, he's still in the front. Pumpkin, I think, might be able to hold on. Yep, Pumpkin has managed to get a better run than Miaton. He'll hold on to P2 as Retro sends it down. And Slick and Trainwreck have wrecked on the backstretch, and they're gonna get collected by FBI. And that will cause our second caution of the day. We had to wait 10 laps for the first one. We only had to wait about 5 for this one. FBI wanted a redo on that last restart because he sort of spun around as the green flag waved. This time you'll finally get it. Pits are once again open, and surprisingly, it looks like just about everyone will be pitting. Oh, and FBI stays out, actually. So FBI will be your new leader. FBI all by himself. Joe will get P2 out of the pit lane. Trainwreck gets a warning from yours truly because he is just ramming the wall and using the anti-wall ride to slow himself down. So, that's not allowed. Not green this time, but we should be green. Actually, we should be green this time. Yeah, there it is. So, FBI leads, followed by Joel and Pumpkin. Retro will have the first 2 rows. Miaton and TD will have the 3rd row. Slick covers the 4th one. And they are 3 wide at the back, and I'm not really sure why. I'm really not sure what's going on towards the back. They're figuring out. I guess Slippy will start last. And all by himself covers. Has revived himself. And he's able to keep it going. And we are green again. I think there might have been a bit of... Oh, Pumpkin looking for the inside lane of FBI. He's not going to get it, though. They're 3 wide for 5th place, I think. And 3 wide behind that as well. But FBI and Joe all by themselves battling side by side for the lead. But I think FBI has a better run. Oh, they make contact into the wall. That's going to give Pumpkin the lead. The FBI spins around again. Oh, no. And that will put Pumpkin up into the lead. No caution for that, of course. TD will have P2. Joe will have P3. And Daniel and Miaton And Retro and Trainwreck, I think, are making contact in the back, battling for P4. Slippy gets a warning. And I think we'll go on board with this absolute chaos that is occurring towards the back. Because as Trainwreck goes down the inside of Slippy, and looked for the inside of covers for a second. Up ahead, Joe and TD battling side by side for second. But we'll stay on board with Trainwreck, who is in the middle of a pack, though admittedly not where he would probably want to be. TD down the inside of Joe, up at the front. I think they're actually catching up to Pumpkin, so we'll draw our attention back to that in a moment. I think Daniel has actually managed to bump Meaton out of the way and gotten a better run, but they're still battling. Oh, Trainwreck around on the back. Contact with Slippy, and that will spin him around, but no caution. Of course, I start talking about a good battle, and it just unravels, and that's just how it works, I guess. We'll go on board with TD and Joe, who are no longer catching up to Pumpkin as TD forces his way down the inside of Joe. They make contact. Retro is actually starting to get onto their tails just because of how much they're battling. And I don't think this will be a very good run for TD. He clipped the apron, and he throws a very late block on Retro as well. Retro just moves him up to the outside lane, and TD turns in on him through the corner, just forcing every bit of track he can to keep Retro behind him, but I don't think it's going to work. Both of these lanes work really well. There isn't a preferred lane, and actually TD actually got a much better run on the outside, and actually tries to cut off Retro, but Retro shoves his nose down the inside and continues to hold on to this battle. No matter what TD does to try and scare off Retro, it has not worked, and now Retro moves up into P3, but TD gets a much better run, and will probably try to cut him off. No, he won't. He's learned better this time. Pumpkin leads by a comfortable margin. Joe leads from third place by a comfortable margin as well, and Retro has had a much better turn 1 and 2, and will get P3 from TD, and Meaton looked to capitalize on it as well, but didn't do it. TD sends it into the corner. Tries to get an overtake done. Doesn't work, but he will have the inside of Retro on lap 35 here. Meaton has caught right up to this battle as well, so don't be too surprised when he gets a part of this battle. And now actually Retro starts running away as Meaton goes side by side with him. Oh, but TD's going to get a better run. And I think both of them actually, but it's not going to be enough to make a move. Just behind them, Covers and Daniel battling as well. So a little left side-by-side action from the two, as Meaton shoves his way through the inside. Oh, contact into the wall! That's going to put Meaton and TD into the wall. That's going to Covers into the back of TD. And that's going to put Daniel and Covers right up into this battle for, well, almost a podium. Not quite, though. Daniel goes in under the onto the apron to try and make turns 3 and 4. So they are fighting for every inch of this track. And actually, Retro, I think I'll have to keep eyes on his gap to Joe ahead, but he might be starting to catch up. Slick says he's going to be retiring, sitting with the reasoning of throttle input. They're 3 wide for 5th place, just behind Meaton as they go through turn 1, and Daniel shoves TD into the outside wall. And TD's around. And unfortunate for TD, really good battle for the podium, but now it just goes all for nothing. And unsurprisingly, Daniel will get a warning, because that was quite naughty of him. And now I need to find out who I need to go on board with next. I think I'll go on board with the mean bully of Daniel, who just murdered TD in cold blood and is now trying to get back in a battle with Covers. And now TD, the only person TD can battle now is the FBI, because both of them have had, so far, not great luck. I think they're battling quite closely as well, though admittedly for last place now, as Slick has officially retired from this race, I believe. And actually, as I look through the communications, Slippy's also complaining about this issue that Slick had. And I think I'm hearing it audibly in Daniel's engine as they go through the corner, as he gets on full throttle, and some portions here and there does seem to be a little bit of a blipping sound of the throttle. Though admittedly, Daniel is not helping it that much by taking these awful lines. And actually, Retro is catching right up to Joe, and we might have a battle for second place. We'll go on board with Retro, who is seriously showing some great pace against Joel. The tire wear, I believe, starting to kick in for all of these drivers, and I think Joe is feeling it the worst. Because here comes Retro. He's right on his tail now, actually, as they exit turn 4. As I pray to God that the vacuum in my back room is not audible. Retro is right on the tail of Joel. These two pitted on the same lap under caution, but Retro able to cope with the tire wear much better, it seems. Retro right on the tail of Joel now as they go down the front stretch. Lap 47 here in Nashville. And it's going to be a question of how long until we see a move from Retro to get an overtake done. It's not easy, but it might be a little bit easy when you shove your opponent up to the outside lane. They're going to be bumping and banging him side by side down the front stretch into turn 1 after Retro bumped Joe onto the outside lane, and just in the space of a lap, Retro has gone from trying to catch up to completely ahead of Joel, as TD goes a lap down now after I think contact with FBI. And if I were Daniel, I would be a little bit careful. He is far behind, but TD does seem to be yielding to the drivers, even though he does have a right to fight for his lap. He doesn't seem to be taking much interest in doing so. But Retro now ahead of Joe, and FBI just out of Pumpkin. We'll have to hope that FBI doesn't fight that hard for his lap as well. Well, I say that as if TD put up any fight. He really didn't. Naturally, TD has continued to drive on, so maybe just hopefully he's not hoping to do a Kenzif. A Kenzif? What did I just say? I feel like what I just said was not... well, who cares? Joe has caught up with Retro, and actually Retro into the outside wall. What has happened? He's suddenly just stopped. That's gonna put Joe back ahead of him by a decent margin. That's gonna put Meaton right on his tail. I'm not sure what happened to Retro there. It was just like all of his inputs just completely stopped. And unfortunately for Retro, that's how that run will probably end. Covers into the pits. Daniel, I think, is around in turn 3, and TD has been given a penalty, so I think what I was predicting was going to happen did happen, and I think we witnessed a Kenzif moment. A Kenzif Logano remake here in Nashville. However, I was unable to catch it, which honestly I should have been on board with because I knew that was going to happen. So, that penalty, I believe, will put TD maybe an extra lap. I'm not sure what that penalty is, as Slippy goes into the pits as well. So a lot of drivers now starting to pit. The tire wear, I talked about the tire wear being really bad for Joel and letting Retro catch up to him, and I believe other drivers are not too keen on staying on these tires as Daniel comes into the pits as well. Excuse me. Big question is, when will we see these top 3 drivers, or well, top 4 drivers, I guess, come into the pits? Or will they? Oh, and Retro into the pits, actually, so there's the answer to that question. Well then. We'll go on board with Pumpkin, who I think is... Yeah, Pumpkin predicting a little bit of an undercut trying to occur from Retro. He'll be in the pits as well as Mutin. So, Joe, the last of the leaders to not pit. And we'll have to see where this places Retro at the end of this. Or really where any of the top 3 will be. Joe is into the pits as well. So we have had a complete cycle. We have seen a complete cycle of pit stops as Trainwreck into the pits as well. Retro going around Miyata now, but he has not passed Pumpkin. So Pumpkin, I think, might have a shot at holding the lead. Joe is still stopped in his in his pit stall, so I believe Pumpkin will still be in the lead, but Retro has regained. Okay, Joe has impaled himself on a pit wall, so I think that's lovely. Interesting moment. Joe has just sort of done a lap in the wall, and I think has tried to go completely around, and is completely around on the exit of turn 4. And I can tell you right now that that was not intentional. FBI into the pits as well. And just behind him, Covers and Mutin having a really great battle side by side. We'll go on board with this battle, as I believe this is the battle for 3rd place. It is, at least according to my timing screen. And if so, they are still side by side as they exit turn 2. Both of these drivers, I believe, will be on fresh tires. Unless I'm horrifically incorrect, in which case, unfortunate. And I am quite happy to see Retro has regained 2nd place in those pit stops. Though admittedly, I think he would have been battling for P3 or battling for P2 if Joe hadn't literally impaled himself. Actually, I believe Joe might get put back on the lead lap, so I think Retro might be battling for P3 or P2. Yes, he will. So, Joe allowed to just merge back into his position. This battle that I was referring to between Covers and Miatin has sort of just calmed down and is no longer existent. And I wonder if... Sorry. Sorry. I wonder if this will give Joe any bit of an advantage. It's not a super big advantage, but the tire wear does get quite bad around here. And heading towards the end of the race, Joe would technically have fresher tires because he was allowed to respawn his car. TD now goes into the pits as there's a wild Jeff Gordon driving in the infield. Not sure what that's all about, but oh well. Not a whole lot to talk about. Retro is losing ground on Joe and Pumpkin. And Joe is actually starting to gain a little bit of ground on Pumpkin. So maybe that fresh tire advantage he got from having to respawn his car might be coming into play here. Possibly. We'll go on board with Joel here. That gap almost down. A few hundredths gained there. Or I'm not really sure. Just not an entire tenth gained by Joe that lap. We'll have to keep our eyes on the timing screen. Oh, that time he gained more than a tenth there that lap. We're heading towards the end of this race, and Joe is probably giving it everything on these brand new tires to try and even think about stealing the win from Pumpkin. Lap 72 here in Nashville, and Joe continuing to gain, what am I trying to say? Continuing to gain on Pumpkin as we head into the final laps of this race. But does he have time to be able to steal the lead here at the end of the race? Almost 2 tenths gained there just that lap, so these tires really coming into play now. Pumpkin struggling to hold on with these tires. There's a massive battle for, I believe, 6th place happening just ahead of Pumpkin, but sadly we'll have to turn our attention to somewhere else as Joe looking to make such a looking to just completely destroy the dream of winning the Clash for Pumpkin here as we head towards the white flag. Joe lost some time that last lap, but we'll go white flag here in Nashville. Joe gained some time that lap, looking to give it everything he has this lap, but I think Pumpkin might be able to hold on to it unless he does something just horrific. And yes, he will. Pumpkin will be the winner of your Clash in Nashville. And Joe will hold on to P2. And Retro will finish P3. Not where you probably wanted to finish, but not much he could have done. Meaton holds on to P4 in front of Covers in 5th place. Trainwreck in 6th and Slippy in 7th. And from there hit FBI and Daniel 8th and 9th place a lap down. And TD finishes the race in last place after a late penalty. And there we see your winner here of the Clash. As the hard-working Covers works to set up his car to do burnouts here. There's the smoke. We'll just need the spinning. We'll have a nice little burnout. And I think Retro might have a few words to race control after in this afternoon here. But a very good win for Pumpkin. Was able to hold off from the pressure and win it here in Nashville. Looks like he's struggling to do some donuts here, but he'll figure it out and eventually. There he goes. Overall, though, a very good race win for Pumpkin. And a very good second place from Retro, though. Or not Retro, from Joel. Though admittedly, I do think Retro is going to have quite an argument to make in this afternoon. But overall, still a very good win for Pumpkin. And from here, next week or maybe in 2 weeks, I don't really know what the schedule is. I mean, yeah, sure, I don't really know which drivers do and don't have microphones.
I'm doing it myself. Covers me.
Okay.
Doing it myself since you suck.
Sorry. Oh,
Suck.
okay, there we go.
You want to do the VC
Kind of my-
when the session goes out? Because Adrian's gonna be there.
Now do /cheer, Pumpkin. Do /cheer.
Oh, whoops. It did not work. I did.
Each year.
It's slash
Slash
each
E?
here. Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Wait, let me...
Okay, we're good.
Retard.
Yay. I did. I did it.
There you
Hooray,
go.
you
Keep doing
won.
it.
The winner.
Why do you have a suit on? You're a nerd.
Oh no.
I'm the financial man.
Yeah, we're going.
You're not man. Okay, so you're paying him, right?
I lied. I'm the
Light on his
operational.
application. Light on his application.
I'm the chief operational officer.
The car is
Yay.
rolling off the stage.
It doesn't want
Cars.
to be there.
I wouldn't want to be here either. It's
Oh,
still
let me
rolling.
anchor it.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
anchor
still
it.
rolling. I think they need to
I think you
Yeah,
got the
okay.
picture.
I think they need to put
Pumpkin
some
what?
parking brakes.
He's gonna want to interview you. He's gonna want to interview you.
Yeah, he's
Oh, you're
gonna.
right.
Yes, he
He's
talks.
literally talking. He's
I'm literally talking right now.
He's not in VC. He's not in his
Idiot.
VC.
Of course it isn't.
Oh, and that was really awesome what you two just did.
Yeah, moved.
That was really awesome. That was really awesome what you two just did. And now we have to move back. Oh.
To move back? Are you serious, bro? I was gonna move you to a private one.
Oh,
You idiot. Oh. Too late. Oh. What am I?
That was me.
What am I supposed to? What am I doing? Bro, what are we doing?
Bro.
So confused. Guys.
What is going on?
Oh, and the card respawned. Cool. No. Fen interviewed him, smart guy. Oh, Fen, you have to interview me.
Hi, Pumpkin. Congrats on winning the Clash.
Yeah.
Was a little bit close towards the end with Joe on much fresher, questionably fresher tires.
Yeah, Joel said that even if he caught up to me, he wasn't gonna pass me because, it wasn't fair that he had fresher tires. So
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, just very, very entertaining glitch that happened to him or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But very good win, very good job holding him off, even though I have just found out he was gonna overtake you anyway, so there's
Yeah.
that. There was a few moments where I believe Retro was leading, or at least battling for the lead, or battling you for second. Hits that were very close. Even
Yeah.
the finishing in P3 behind Joe, and I think he's gonna have some very strong words to raise control afterwards. But very good job winning. How have you felt about Nashville so far this race week? And even though this is the last time we'll probably ever see this track.
I mean, it's been fun to race, I guess.
Yeah,
I didn't I was the fastest in qualifying. I fell off in the heat race. Covers, why are you going into me? I fell off in the heat race. I finished like last, and then and oh, bye covers, and then I picked it back up in the main event, I guess. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, very strong performance from you.
Yeah.
Maybe. Wait, I'm trying to look at something to mix up. You didn't exactly start where I imagine you would have wanted to. Like you said, you sort of fell off in the clash,
yeah.
in the heats and everything.
Yeah.
I'm very bad at interviewing people. I have no idea what else to ask. This is why I do not interview anyone in Pummu. I just ask like one or two things and I'm done.
Let's go.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to Fennec. No, I'm kidding. Subscribe to
That's
the actual
a lot of
channel.
money.
Subscribe to the actual
No.
Pummu channel.